Okay, my friend, today we are going to study chapter 5, section 3, parallel and perpendicular lines. So, first, parallel lines, they're on the same plane, but they never intersect, and the distance between them all time must be constant. The distance between them will not change. And the perpendicular lines, they will intersect each other, and it will be 90 degrees. They must intersecting with 90 degrees. Skew lines, it's the three-dimensional shape. Let's start first. Skew lines, they are not parallel and they will not intersect each other. How? It's of course in the three-dimensional shape. Let's start with the parallel lines. For parallel lines, I can explain. Mm, okay, I draw it, that's good now. Okay, as you see, they are parallel. They never intersect. Even how many I draw, even if infinity, if I continue to the infinity, they will not intersect each other. And the distance between them, it's all time will be constant. For example, here 1.5 centimeter. Here again 1.5 centimeter. At the middle again 1.5 centimeter. Here again 1.5 centimeter. I assume it's continue and it will be again 1.5 centimeter. So we call this kind of lines, we call parallel lines. So they're on the same two-dimension figure, so flat surface and on a plane, and they will not intersect, never ever, at the infinity maybe. Okay, let's continue with perpendicular line. If you remember, this is an intersecting line, and if I calculate the angles here, so 45, 45, and this will be 135, we call that only intersecting lines. The difference between intersecting lines and perpendicular lines, the perpendicular line intersect with the 90 degrees, with the right angle. So for right angle, if I calculate it, it gives us a small square. As you see, all of them 90 degrees. So as you see, all angles here 90 degrees, 90 degrees, 90 degrees, and 90 degrees. So when one of them 90 degrees is enough for the definition of the perpendicular line. If two lines intersect with 90 degrees, we will call them perpendicular lines. Let's continue the skew lines. So parallel lines, they will not intersect, and the distance between two lines all time will be constant. So they are parallel, as you know, like these two L here, L and L, they are parallel. And perpendicular line, they will intersect with 90 degrees. And skew lines, for skew lines, you need to think about three-dimension shapes, so 3D shapes here. Okay, as you see, there's a cube. Yeah, it's three-dimension. So I can look top, bottom, right, left, any side. Okay, from here, I want to show you this edge and that one here. They will never ever intersect, and the distance will not be constant. For example, here the closest one, but if I calculate the distance from here to here, it will be very long, or from middle to the middle, it will be longer than that edge. So this edge line, this line, and the line passed through this edge will never intersect, but they are not parallel. If they are not parallel and not intersecting, we call them skew lines. That's the easy one to see for skew lines. Here, as you see, that's throttle here, and the line, another one here. We call them skew lines. Or this blue line and this blue line here, they will not intersect ever, never. We call it skew lines. That's all. Now let's continue. Here's it's look like a cube or rectangular. Okay, it's look like rectangular prism. Okay, what did it say? Identifying parallel, perpendicular, and skew lines. So AB and AC. It's asking about AB and AC. If this is a rectangular prism, I can say the angle here 90 degrees, so right angle. So AB and AC will be perpendicular. So this sign here, the symbol is here, is perpendicular. The sign of the perpendicular. Now the P is asking CE, the line CE is here, passing through there, and BD is here. As you see, if this is a rectangular prism, BD and CE never intersect, and they are not parallel either. So what are they? They are skew lines. The last one is AC and BD. As you see, AC and BD are parallel. So the sign of the parallel is there. So that's all for the example 1. Okay, let's continue the next things we are going to learn today. Okay, let's read it. A transversal is a line that intersects two or more lines. 8 angles form with a transversal. So transversal mean uh, when we cut two line with the third line, as you see here, this is first line, this is second line. Let's enlarge it here a little. Now, okay, let's see from here. It's better now. Okay, we call these two parallel lines, and this is intersecting the parallel line. So we call this line transversal line. The name is not important here. The important things here, how it's work. So if these are parallel, as you see these red letters B, D, angle, angle B, angle D, angle Y, angle T. So they are acute angles and all of them are congruent. So as a measure, they are equal. This is very important here. So it's not important what this name. The name is transversal. It's okay, but how it's work is important here. All acute angle like M, measure of B, measure of D, measure of Y, measure of Y, and measure of T. All of them are equal. So let's show you again. Measure of B, measure of D, measure of Y, measure of T. Where are they? B, D, Y, T. So they are all congruent. This is first. All acute angles on a transversal line, all of them congruent. Second one, all obtuse angles are congruent either because of the vertical lines AC and XZ are congruent. So all of them, let's see, angle A, measure of angle A, it's congruent with C, measure of C. So measure of X, if they are congruent, we will call them alternate interior angles because they are inside the parallel line, but they are not same side, they are alternate. So alternate interior angles, they are congruent. X and Z, they are congruent because of the vertical angles, you can say. So all of the obtuse angles are equal each other. So if the Z 120, the A must be 120. There is no exception. If X is 150, A, C, Z, all of them must be 150. If T is 30, all of them must be 30 degrees. This is very important. We can say that all acute angles are congruent and all obtuse angles are congruent if these two lines are parallel. If it's not, they are not. If these are parallel, so we can say all acute angles, all obtuse angles have same measure. The second rule is here, the third one, sorry, first one, second one, third one. But let me change this blue color. Let's take them away. And now better. Okay, the third one, sum of an acute angle and an obtuse angle all the time 180 degrees. So angle A here, angle A plus angle B here, angle B, it's equal 180 degrees. Or another one, angle X here and angle Y, it's equal 180 degrees. How we know? Because there is a straight line. As you see, this line is straight, so sum of these two angles 180. Even you can say A plus D is 180 because this is straight line. T plus Z equal 180 because this is straight line. So an acute angle, measure of an acute angle plus measure of an obtuse angle, all time it's equal to 180 degrees. That's all of things about the transversal line. Transversal, what do you say? But let's check it. Is it true or not? Let's work it here. Let's clean everything. Hey, come on, I want to clean everything. That's good. I don't need ruler here. Let's make two parallel lines first. This is one. So, okay, this is parallel. I want to cut them with another line. Yeah, I cut it. Let's check the acute angles first. 60, 60, 60 degrees, 60 degrees. So as you see, all acute angles are congruent. So what are you thinking about this angle? So as you see, the acute is 60. The obtuse will be 120, yes, because sum of the acute plus obtuse it's equal to 180. So 60 plus what? 60 plus 120. So I found it. So all of them must be 120. No exception. So all obtuse angle, that's better. It's you, yeah, 120. You can see I think 120 here. So all of them 120 and acute angles 160 degrees. Let me check. May I change the color of the, okay, let's put the 60s first. I don't know. May I change the color? I will try it. Let's, okay. Yeah. Now it's good. Obtuse angles are 120, acute angles 60. Of course, it's not, it's for this example. Yeah, it doesn't have to be all time 120 or 60. Now let's try another. Let's draw a parallel line first. Oh, sorry. I will work on the black color. Okay. Okay, let's draw a parallel line for that one. Yeah, that's parallel now. Cut it with, okay, I cut it. Now, as you see, these two line parallel, that one and that one. So we cut it with another line. Let's check the angles. So to checking angles, they must be equal. If this is 30, okay, this is 30, 30, and 30. As you see, acute angles are all same. And here, what is going to be? If this side 30, this side will be, you are right, 150, of course. Very good, 150. All acute angles are 150 degrees. I think that's all. Let's talk about something else. I want to say some things. For example, X and A called corresponding angles because they are looking same way. Z and C corresponding angle. A and Y corresponding angle. So C and Y same side, D and X same side, interior angle. X and C are alternate interior angle. Y and D alternate interior angles. You don't need to memorize all of them. You only, if you memorize acute angles are congruent, obtuse angles are congruent, it's okay for you. Okay, I think the example will be last one. It say what is the measure of P? As you see, M and P vertical angles here. So and these are parallel, X and Y parallel. So I know all acute angles are congruent. So M and P, it's same. What is M? 55 degrees. So P will be measure of P. It's equal 55 degrees. This is first. I can put here measure of 55 degrees. Keep it here. Now what about measure of A? Is it acute angle? Yes. As you see, they are corresponding. They are looking the same side. So M and A, the measure of angle M and measure of angle A are 55. Do not confuse this M and this M. This is measure of angle A, but this is angle M. So what is angle A? 55 degrees. Now the last question B. So it's an obtuse angle. How can I know? A plus B will be 180 degrees first, because this line X is given, the name is here. Line X is, it's a line and they are on the same line. It's 180 degrees. If you remember, this angle makes 180 degrees. So how can do I know measure of A here? 55 degrees. Now I will take this 55 and write here 55 degrees. Done. So 55 plus measure of B equal 180 degrees. Okay, how can I find only M? If I subtract 55 both sides, 55 minus 55, 0, 180, 55, it will be equal angle M. So measure of angle B, it's equal 180 minus 55. So what is 180 minus 55? 25, 125. So measure of B, it's equal to 125 here. Measure of B, it's equal to 125 degrees. That's the end of the lesson. Thanks for listening. Have a nice day.